Hi TPC, my name is Paolo and I'm part of the Finance Committee. The Finance Committee is a part of the governance structure in TPC. Its main responsibility is to provide oversight and guidance to things of a financial matter to TPC leadership. It is chaired by Pilot Moyo. Every year since 2015, our finances have been audited by an independent audit firm named Marwick & Company. Another important but separate governance body in TPC's life is the HR and Remuneration Advisory Committee. This committee is responsible for reviewing staff salaries and wages, and it is guided by recommendations from the Assemblies of God group. Now, a wonderful thing to talk about is growth in our church. And if we look at a year-on-year comparison of weekly attendance of our congregation, it has grown by 36%. Looking a bit more acutely at the last 6 months, if we compare that to 18 months prior to that period, our average attendance was sitting at about 310 people. So comparing those periods, the size of the congregation has increased 69%, so just under 70%, which is dramatic. And wonderful, our family as a church has grown, and that growth has been consistent. Looking at children's ministry, the average attendance of kids across the various kids ministries is now sitting at 114 compared to 75 in the second half of 2022. And that is a 53% increase from preschool to toddlers to preteens. Looking at next steps. So, next steps lunches are an opportunity where we invite people that are new to TPC, people that are just trying to figure out what the next step in their journey with God is. And during 2023, we had 80 people attending Next Steps lunches. Up to the end of May 2024, we've already had 88 people joining these lunches. While we are still fairly early in the year, we've had 11 baptisms so far in 2024. Now, as part of growth in the congregation, when we look at our monthly tithes, there has been a year-on-year increase in tithes of a significant 39%. Over that same period of time, there has been a 36% increase in attendance. The growth in our congregation has been accompanied by commensurate growth in our tithes. Faithful tithing is something which new members of our congregation have bought into and are doing, and that is a very good, healthy, and wonderful thing. These amounts exclude specific giving towards certain causes, and I just want to highlight there was one specific extraordinary gift which took place, and it was in respect of the robbery that happened in January this year, and that extraordinary gift was 200,000 rand. The strategy and the intention to grow our local church is something that is made possible by increased tithing. A lot of that has been committed to strategic areas in the church and around the church to support growth. Around January, I think, we had additional screens installed, and this was in the bleachers and in the front of the seating area, just to the right of the stage. And this really just to make sure that everyone sitting in our church can actually see what is happening. Also, something that many people know about, particularly those that would have been sitting in the bleachers, is some of our air conditioners needed replacement and repair. And so a number of these were replaced. There was a necessary upgrade to the sound system in our main auditorium. A lot of the speakers that were used have been repurposed in other parts of the church life, increasing and growing. Then if we look at the distribution of tithing at its various levels of amount, and if we compare that distribution of giving over the last 12 months with the previous 12 months, what we can see, and this graph shows, is that there have been an increase in the number of people giving in each portion of the distribution of the church. Is not just simply because the people that have been tithing are giving more. That may also be happening, and almost certainly is, but what is also happening is that there are more people giving across the different levels of income in our congregation. Beyond these walls is an area where we've mentioned before there had been a steady decline over time over the past several years. And so in July 2022, a commitment was made by TPC which totaled just over 20,000 Rand per month. And this commitment has been honored since then on a monthly basis.
Let me show you something. This is a balloon, it's got some stretch. And I can put it on there and it can stretch some more. Then I can fill it with water. Filling with water. Filling with water. But there's something you know about this balloon. As it fills with water, there's going to come a time when it's going to not have any more capacity. This is the People's Church, and we've got some stretch in the church, and we are stretching, and this is an amazingly strong balloon, but sooner or later it'll reach the point where it bursts. I'm going to pull this off now because I don't want to get soaking wet, but there, look at that. I want to speak to you about capacity. Capacity in the you don't want to reach that stage. The church is strong. The church is growing. The church has got capacity, but it is running out of capacity. And at the moment we're in a stretch phase. We don't have a crisis at the moment. But if we carry on, the crisis will arrive. And I want to say, financially, we need your support. As far as your expertise is concerned, we need your support. As far as your energy is concerned, we need your support, because we've got to grow our capacity in very practical ways. On a Sunday, in this place, there are 19 or 20 toddlers. Can you imagine when it's raining? This place needs to be not revamped, needs to be replaced. This thing was old when I arrived. It has got life, but it's got no more stretch. There's no more capacity. And you know, mothers come to church and they don't want to be looking after their kids when they come to church. They want to have a good church experience. They've had their kids all week. We want the mothers to be refreshed. We want the mothers to be part of the service and be a part of the good things that are happening.
The fathers as well.
The fathers as well. But let's not fool ourselves. Imagine if we put up a new, larger, new tech capacity here, where the kids can play, where we have a gazebo to keep them out of the sun. When it's raining, they can at least come indoors, stay dry, and have a good time. This is a capacity question. It's a capacity issue. We need people with expertise and a burden and a sense of feeling, with skill as far as toddlers are concerned. Here's Uncle Dave's faraway treehouse, a lovely facility with a nice rubber where if they fall on their heads they don't die, and all this grass and so on. That was actually a garage. It's a prefab building, but it's too small. We don't have the space. We would like to get a new tech facility over there, extend it, expand it, so we need stretch. The older kids are upstairs. If you go up those stairs and through that door over there, on a Sunday morning, you'll find the older primary school kids having fun up there. They have a fantastic time. And those of you who have kids of that age will attest to what I'm saying. Then as far as the parking is concerned and all the congestion that happens, we want to start a third service. That's our thinking at the moment, but we've got to plan that. And so we're thinking of starting a third service on a Sunday afternoon, maybe at 5 o'clock, so that people, instead of coming on Sunday morning at 9 or coming at 11, can come at 5 in the afternoon. In order to do that, we've got to get a whole new set of musicians. We've got to get a whole new set of people that can welcome people and usher people. We need to get a whole new set of people that can do the catering. We don't want them to just keep on stretching and say, okay, no, you're going to have a third more work or half more work. Or instead of coming twice on a Sunday, you're not going to come 3 times on a Sunday. We don't want to put people under that sort of pressure, because that's a recipe for burnout. what we want to do is we want you to come on board to help us in many, many ways that we need help. So you're looking at a needy person right now. Let's work together, and let's see this church increase its capacity, not only its stretch.